It was an ordinary winter day, about a week after Christmas. I was minding my own business, watching TV, surfing the internet, and all sorts of stuff. I must admit, it was a really boring day. The day passed. It was about midnight. Bored like anything, I almost fell asleep. So I decided to go to bed. Just before I could reach my room, the lights flashed a little bit, and a kind of strange sound could be heard. I thought it was just a random blackout, so I just tried to sleep. 1 hour passed. I woke up from a horrible nightmare. Everything was bloody red. Corpses everywhere, and me, standing barefoot in the snow, with clothes soaked in blood. Fortunately, a horrible scream woke me up. I saw a shadow, like a human silhouette, but just for a couple of seconds. Was that my imagination? Maybe I wasn't completely awake. All I can remember after these events is that the next morning, I woke up with a pretty bad pain in my neck. Days have passed. Definitely, something inside me is changing. I was not myself. I lived in fear, but even I had no idea what I was actually fearing. I started to behave differently. I stopped talking to my friends. I stopped any sort of communication with people. I even started to skip school. One day, while doing my homework, I accidentally cut myself. I ignored that cut, considering it was really small and insignificant. A very little amount of blood was spilled, but I observed that. Everything turned red. I felt extremely powerful, like a beast. I quickly rushed and started to suck my own blood. I ripped my skin apart so I could draw more. I didn't stop drinking blood, even though I started to get dizzy and I was about to faint. My eyes started to glow, turning into an immense shade of red. As I stood there, powerless, I was losing huge amounts of blood. I blacked out, and when I woke up, everything was all right. I was healed, and my finger was completely normal, no cuts. What have I become? Am I a vampire? Have I turned into a bloodthirsty beast? It can't be, I said to myself. Unfortunately, I was lying. Without my approval, of course, I received the dark gift. First, I thought about committing suicide, thinking that I was a fierce beast who takes human form and feasts with the blood of humans. But then, I started to embrace the change. I started to discover the benefits, and even learn how to control my hunger for blood. I started hanging out with my friends again, and regaining my social life. I was somewhat happy. I accepted my fate, and kept saying it was my destiny, so I can do nothing about it. Everything was normal, until I met her. One day, a girl transferred into our school. She was really cute, and I started talking to her. I noticed we have a lot of things in common. We became good friends really quick. I fell in love with her, and found out she felt the same for me. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. I couldn't imagine my life without her. We were both really happy. One unfortunate night would start the process of shattering our happiness forever. School was over, but I was absent that day, so she went home alone. On her way home, she met with a group of men that wanted to harass her. God only knows what those scumbags wanted to do to her. I was really far, but I heard her scream. That scream, I'll remember it forever, even after my death. That scream, knowing that the person I love is in danger. I felt extreme anger and rage. My eyes turned red again, and I started to run extremely fast. When I got there, 5 men were very close to her. The first one was the luckiest. I killed him very quick, just by biting his neck and draining all the blood and life energy. The second had a pretty unpleasant death, considering that I strangled him to death. The third was pretty tough. My rage gave me strength, so much strength that I beat that guy to death. One of those dropped a knife on the ground. I grabbed it, and I stuck it into his neck. His death was slow and painful, so I was able to get the taste of his blood. I found out the 5th man was their leader. I ripped his ribs apart, using the same knife. I stabbed his heart as I whispered into his ear, just before he died. This is what I felt when I heard her scream. She was fine, so I was relieved. I rushed to hug her, but I noticed something that turned out to be fatal for her. She had a tiny cut on her shoulder, revealing a little bit of blood. I couldn't control my rage. I tried to stop. I tried to run. I even tried to stick the knife into my heart so I could save her. I told her to run, but it was too late. My vampiric form took over my human form. I was not human anymore. I caught her and stuck my fangs into her neck, drinking her blood. Even though I was controlled by hunger, I still tried to stop, but it was too late. When I was conscious again, I found her lying on the ground dead. Seeing this image, my whole world was torn apart. I started crying and screaming. How can I live anymore knowing that I murdered the most important person in my life? That's right. I can't. Farewell.
Bye.